I love when I can quickly return a favor. Let's go Brown here. Hi.
How's it going?
More beams.
More beams. It's a lot easier when we don't have a existing house around the beam. So that was one of the many new builds that Eva and Chris are doing at the moment. So I'm glad I could help them with the beams after them helping me in the last exciting episode. Speaking of beams, I've got to go back and get the roof struts on top of the beam, and then we can clear that whole room. The whole room is going to be opened up. It's very exciting. I bought strawberries!
Oh, hey! Yay, I love this time of year.
The ceiling joists are very close together. The joist hangers are on, which means this ceiling here is supported by the new beam, which is great. The thing that isn't supported by the new beam is the roof though. Part of the reason this beam is so gigantic, ginormous, it's a wall of a beam, part of the reason is because it has to support the roof weight as well as the ceiling weight, and it has to support itself. It's 8.2 meters long. That's why it's so high and thick. So now we have to do something like this. We have to make props to support the rafter, and then we have to have a runner going all the way along as well. And then, and only then, can we take all these walls down? Start bashing stuff out. So while we're at it, we might as well straighten these rafters. They've sagged over the years. Let's mess around a string line. So if you're not familiar with the Dodger block string line system, you have 3 pieces of timber that are the same thickness. You've got 1 at each end, and then the third one you use to check if it's straight. Now this is very, very close. For an old house, that's pretty remarkable, but it's not perfect. And that lifts it ever so slightly. And then this here, I've already got the angle from. I used an angle finder like this, and then I should have filmed this. And that means I can get my, you get it, support block perpendicular to the roof. And now all I need to do is hold it in the position knowing that this is nice and propped, and go like this. This actually needs to come down. Holy moly. Now in this case here, the rafter is actually bowing upward, and now there's a gap between this block and this string line. This is those strops that you use for holding things on your roof racks. It is time! It's time to get rid of that problem room once and for all. So I've been adding metal connectors to everything. All these joist hangers, making sure they're all screwed and fixed. Then I put the props up the top as you saw, and then they are metal connected to the beam and then metal connected to the roof. So it's all holding hands. And then at either end of the beam, it's metal connected to the walls. So that's gonna hold everything. This roof can't move, it's solid. But we're about to find out if that's true, because we're gonna remove all these props, and then we're gonna remove the problem room. So that's the thing about renovating. You never really clean up a mess, you just relocate it.
It's like we've cleaned up a mess in over a year.
Hold it up here, and then just sort of shunt it like that, and just go like that, and then move along to the next one. See what I mean?
Is shunt an actual word?
Nice. Just be careful of those spikes. You're a natural, Jess.
Oh, thanks, babe. Just shunt it in.
That's right.
Shunt it in. Oh!
Nice.
Careful.
Okay, move that piece of wood away. First prop down.
Can I kick?
Yeah. Maybe start here on this one.
Everything's just so much harder than I think it's gonna be. I can't even see. Ow!
You okay?
Yeah, okay.
Alright, maybe we're being a bit unsafe here. This is where we're going to open up into the front yard and onto a eventual deck. Now, one thing that I have to point out, I don't know if you remember, if you've been watching the channel for a long time, within the first 100 videos I made a video about wall straightening, and it was a bit controversial. It was my first video that got a lot of views, pushed my channel from a few hundred subscribers to a few thousand.
But you also got a lot of hate.
But I also got a lot of criticism. I basically cut into the studs, moved the studs, and then fused the studs back together. That's how we straighten the wall. Anyway, the reason I bring all that up right now is because we've opened my 1960s wall up. And what do we have here? I think, judging by this type of timber, we have the same technique done here. Judging by the timber, it's probably more like 70s, 80s. It's not a technique I would recommend for everything. They do have it in the Brands book, which is like the building standards here in New Zealand. Go check out that video, see what you think. I'll link it below. Late 70s.
Yeah, I don't know if a technique from the 70s is your vindication, Scott. They were doing some pretty wild stuff in the 70s.
I wanted to knock this down as well, so we can make one big room. But we decided not to, right?
Ultimately, there's still going to be work going on in here. And that's still where we eat and make food. So we should try to keep the dust out, because there's quite a lot of dust. It actually adds so much more space to the room.
In the UK, this is what they call greedy boards. Get your greedy boards on, get a bit more rubbish on top. I don't know what accent that was. Future Scott Brown here. We're about to rip that window out that's in that problem room and turn it into a door. But before we start doing that, a little word from our sponsor, which is Squarespace. Squarespace is an all-in-one platform that helps you build your online presence and run your business. If you need a website for your business, but you don't want to learn coding, but you still want it to look good, then Squarespace might be for you. They have marketing tools, website analytics, and they also have e-commerce tools, so if you need to sell some product, you can do it all here on your Squarespace website. They have portfolios and galleries to make the website look beautiful. There's a whole suite of tools that I haven't even mentioned, so if you want to check it out for yourself, check out the link in the description. They offer a free trial, so you have nothing to lose. And then once you're ready to launch your website, head to squarespace.com/Scott Brown Carpentry to save 10% off your first purchase of a website or domain. So yeah, if you want to help support the channel, check out the link below. Squarespace have been a huge support for both Jess and I all year, and we really appreciate it. So if you want to help support us, check the link below. Now, let's continue turning this problem room into a indoor-outdoor. All right, let's explain. The old balcony steps. That's why we've got a beam across there and a beam all the way across there. Because this used to be a balcony. Welcome back to the episode there, Raymond.
Hi. How you doing?
That beam install went pretty well, eh?
Yeah. Quite happy that that's behind us.
If you remember, we had to pivot one end of the beam that way to get away from this step. So we had a solid foundation. We sorted that. But this step is also a foundation for what is going to be a brace. Because we're removing all these walls, we need to add bracing, and most of it happens on the exterior walls. So we need a solid bottom plate, and it's on this concrete step. One of you guys called it someone in the video where Jess and I were looking at the flooring said, oh, maybe the green streaks through the flooring is because it's treated. Well, that's exactly what it is. Tantalith treated timbers 266. So that's why we got those green streaks.
More poison.
Alright. So I don't know if I ever told the story about the Festool Capex. Basically I've just got it back and it's been away for a couple of months getting repaired because I cut a piece of Perspex with it, foolishly, and there was this big bang. Next thing I know, I look in and the blade's completely twisted. It turns out the blade had picked up the plastic and the rubber chute that's at the back of that base of the Festool saw and jammed it, like took it all up into the blade compartment and jammed it in there and twisted the blade and everything. Now it's back to normal and I'm happy to have it back. Sometimes LVL is the only way to go.
Is it?
Where are they?
Just down there. They're in the window as well.
Oh, that's a nest.
Is it?
Yeah, all the shit, like eggs and stuff. Should we just chuck some poison down there?
Yeah, have you got some?
Yep.
We've opened up a bit of a can of worms here. We're trying to get anchoring for the window. We want the window to be structurally sound, obviously. And we also need to get this bracing either side of the window. But we've got bottom plates in every direction. See you tomorrow, right?
Latte.
So bracing elements need to be continuous. You need your studs, you need your bottom plate, and you need your top plate. In this case, the bracing element needs a bracket, a right angle one, and then bolts. And those bolts have to be fixed to your foundation. And that completes it. You've got a structure that is anchored all the way around. Now when you get over here, this side not so bad. We've got a continuous bottom plate, I guess you call it. It's really just a funky bearer used to hold the wall up. But that's enough. That's okay. We can get a bracket in there, we can get a bracket over there, anchor it into the step, a-okay. But over here, it starts getting a bit hairy. Number one, that's the bottom plate. And then these are the joists. The floor is kind of floating and checked over this with a gap under there. So that's not great. And I need to take all this out. I need to cut these off because we need to form a sill and we need to have a sill flashing and all the rest of it for this door. But over here is the bracing unit. Stud needs to go here, but then this isn't continuous. Look at this drop, it's crazy. There's like a big gap under here, there's a block of wood, there's all this going on. So I'm going to need to find a way to anchor through here, all the way down, or I could bracket there. So you see what I mean? It's a bit of a can of worms. The easiest way to describe this is to show the solution, and that's going to be the next exciting episode.